Hello and welcome to the Ladies Best Life podcast. I hope you're feeling absolutely sensational today. We have the incredible, can't even speak today, this is going well, isn't it? We have the incredible Tia with us. Tia is a great friend of mine. I've known her for absolutely years. We had a bit of a disconnection over a few years and we've come back together. First of all, started as coach-client situation. Tia has come through the coaching club program and graduated in, God, when was it? August?
September, August, September time.
September, sometime like that. And now she is our head coach and she is head of fulfillment and basically making sure all of our wonderful clients are looked after and are winning and absolutely smashing it. So Tia, thank you so much for being here. How are you today, girl?
It is a pleasure. Thank you for having me back. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to having a chat.
Part two. It's always where it gets exciting. So I want to go through a bit of a recap of, firstly, like, why did you join the coaching club? Like, why did you want to come into it? What was going on? Like, give me a bit of an overview of your life.
So when I joined, my main focus was weight loss. I was in a place of I was training, but my nutrition was completely off kilter. I was like getting frustrated why I wasn't getting the results that I wanted. I felt like I was working really hard and just wasn't getting the output that I wanted. But I was also really lost. And I remember being like, I don't really know what I need, but I just need something that needs to be different. I feel like there's more. I feel like there is more opportunity out there than what I'm doing right now. Felt quite unfulfilled in different aspects of life. And I wanted to try and find myself again, really.
Yeah. And why was it that you decided that coaching club was the right thing to do instead of going down the route of like a personal trainer or a diet or something like that?
So I've tried so many diets before and they were always very quick fixes. So I can stick to something. Like if you give me a set of rules, I will follow the rules and that is absolutely fine. But it didn't change anything to do with my mindset. So as soon as I would come off the diet, if you like, it would all just pile back on. Maybe not to the extent I was when I was at my biggest, but it would start to creep back on because my mentality hadn't changed. And I wanted something more than just a PT. I wanted a community. I wanted to fit in somewhere. I wanted to be around people that were like-minded, had different ideas. And I really wanted to change up my environment because I felt like that was quite stagnant at the time.
Okay, and when you said like your mindset didn't change, so when you dieted, you'd then just put it all back on. Like, what is the biggest mindset / identity change that you experienced that has stopped you from gaining the weight back again now that you've lost it?
I think it's because it's a lifestyle. So my life and the way that I live it and the habits and the things that I do, they are part of my life. They're not restriction. They're not overtraining. They are adapted and tailored and it work to fit my life. And as I've got fitter and healthier, that has gone up a gear. But at the time, what I needed was small and simple and like some direction that I could just move forward in. And the shift there, that for me is how it made it, I suppose, sustainable and ingrained because this is now my life. It's not a diet.
And if we'd have told Tia in January 2022 that we're going to change her life and the changes will be slow and steady, what are you laughing at?
Because I can just imagine what she would have told you.
What?
She'd have been like, fuck off would be the answer probably, because I've always been someone that wanted a quick fix. But if you'd have told me in January 2022 that like 18 months from then, or 16 months, whatever we are, that my life would be completely flipped on its head, she would have laughed in your face and been like, that is not possible. No way.
It's mad because so when I am chatting to people who are looking to join the coaching club, I'm not looking for, and you know this now with working so closely with me over the last 6 months, like we don't give a fuck about short term. Don't give a fuck. Do not give a fuck. And we see so many people who come through, you know, and they just want like instant results. And I'm the way that I always frame it is our results are faster than any other results that you can get because they actually last. So yeah, we can't make you lose a stone like you can in what's it called, fucking Cambridge or something, because you know you just eat dust for a week. can't make you lose stone in a week, but we can make you or help you to lose 3 stone over a year and never put it back on again. So I love how you kind of laughed when I said then, like, what would old Tia have said? So I've got a bit of a question for you. So think about your life now. Think about the shifts that you've gone through personally and professionally over this last year. Are you starting to cry already?
Not yet. It's coming. I can feel it's coming.
God's sake, man. Think about that over the last year. Do you miss your old life?
No.
Not at all.
Not a single. Oh, well, no. And I was just about to say, I think the difference is I don't recognize that person. And like that's that, and I don't miss it. I don't miss it. I'm proud of her and everything that she had been through and to get to where I am now, but I wouldn't go back there. And I won't go back there. And I've had so many life tests over the last 12 months to challenge that I'm more confident than ever. Like, that isn't somewhere I'm going back to.
And this is where like the real magic begins. Like, anyone can come through, like, our minimum term inside Coaching Club is 6 months. Anyone can come through 6 months but have 0 stress tests. A stress test is a marriage breakdown, a relationship breakdown. It could be moving house. It could be starting a new business. It could be someone dying. It could be getting poorly. You know, that's even a stress test. And a lot of the time people think that they've got their new life embedded, but actually because they haven't been faced with adversity or any challenge during that time, it really isn't cemented. And that's where we can start to see reversibility. Now, when you joined, like, what was it that you thought as you started to go through the process? Because you were one of these learners where you were like, fucking, you wanted to learn everything. And I was like, mate, just slow down a bit. Like,
absolutely not.
And I love that. We've got a couple of girls inside the Coaching Club like that now, haven't we? They're like chomping at the bit. They want to learn so much. And I fucking when you started to, like, at what point did your mind go, oh, so this isn't just about food and exercise. This is about like encompassing a whole new life, and my whole life is going to get better from it. What stage did that click? Can you remember?
I think probably around the 11 or 12 week mark, because when I came in, I was like really focused on like training, diet, losing the weight. That was it. And then I went away. I'm sure I went away somewhere, and I was like, oh my God, what do I do now? Because any other time I've been away, I'm just like, hit the bucket button, all the booze, all the food, and then I'm like off the rails then for a week, if you're lucky, probably a bit longer than that. And you think, oh, well, start again next month. I think it was then that I was like, okay, so this is where my mindset has changed, because I was like, I want to go away and enjoy myself. I don't want to be preoccupied by calories or food or booze. I want to go away and be present and enjoy it and have that time. And that's where the shift for me came, because I was like, I'm approaching this differently. This isn't a diet now. This is life. This is, how do I embrace this, and how can I look at things differently? Because I always used to think, well, you can't socialize, you can't see your friends, or you can't do this if you're on a diet. So I'd be like a hermit for like 8 weeks, and then you'd be like, oh, she's like let out the cage. It's like the worst thing ever, isn't it? You think like, so yeah, I think that was the test, I think. And that's when I realized how much my mindset had shifted.
And I think this will be really interesting for anyone who's listening, the shift there, that it's, you don't have to deprive yourself. Like, sure, if you're used to going out 4 times a week and you're having, you know, champagne and fucking, I don't know, burger every time you go out, things need to change. Like, there are some level of sacrifice, because if nothing changes, nothing changes. It is the most obvious statement going, but often people, you know, fight with reality, and they're like, oh, I really want to lose weight, but I'm not changing my lifestyle, but I want to lose weight. And it's like, something has to change, guys. You either need to change the goal or you need to change the approach.
Yeah.
So because I can imagine some people listening will be like, yeah, it's all right for you because insert some bullshit excuse here. Talk to me about like because your process inside Coaching Club was very rapid. You know, your results came in very quick. You learned so well. You were in my inbox every single day, and I fucking loved it. That tenacity and drive that you had to learn was absolutely next level. Talk to me about the shit bits.
Oh, there's quite a lot, really, weren't there? There's been quite a lot over the last year that have definitely challenged me. So, so many. I mean, work was a big shift. I moved career, didn't I? Yeah. August time. That was hard, going from like being completely out of a routine, and even though it's like loads closer to home, it was the right thing to do in terms of that side of things. Completely in the deep end again, no idea what I'm doing, and as someone that is like holds herself very highly in terms of like knowledge and ability in like a career, being at the bottom of the pile again for there was a struggle. And then trying to create a new routine. Obviously relationship breakdown at the end of last year, like that was really, really tricky. Just trying to navigate life and routine, moving house again, living out of bags for like months, and it just I think this is probably where, like, on reflection now, I can look back and be like, there is no way I would have handled this like I have this time round 12 months ago. Not a chance, because my emotional maturity, my awareness of myself is second to none. Now I'm so certain of who I am, what I value, what's important to me, that is where I'm at. That's how I live in alignment.
You've been through the absolute mill, and my brain just instantly goes back to like parts of the journey where you've been losing your shit with certain situations to do with, could be as simple as you had kind of not stepped into the binge realm, but you gone maybe an overeating a little bit, and there was a bit of a panic, and then we'd obviously have to communicate and rationalize those thoughts. And I want you to share remember that walk we went on?
Oh. I know exactly the one that you mean.
But the reason why I'm digging for this is because sometimes when you see someone doing well in life, you just put the label of, oh, it's all right for you. But actually you've been through the fucking mill. You've had adversity right the way throughout your life. You've put yourself in hard situations. You then made the decision to join something like the Coaching Club, which is not easy. It's not for the faint-hearted. It's not for people who just want, short-term results like we spoke about. And to make lifelong change, we've got to go back and we've got to dig into what's happened in the past and why we are the way we are. So talk to everyone who's listening about that walk.
So, so I'd been away, hadn't I? I think I can't remember where I'd come back from anyway. I'd been away.
You were due to go away with Susie, I think.
Oh yeah, I was due to go away. It was oh my god, it was September. I was thinking it was like summertime. So I was due to go away, and so I hadn't long got back, had I? Because I'd had like 3 holidays in the space of like really short amount of time. And I remember being like, my energy was through the floor. I felt like in a really, really not good headspace. I was letting my standards drop in terms of movement, brain space, doing anything for myself. That, or like for me, has always been a trigger for overeating, or like always, because when I feel like knackered and I'm through the floor, I will turn to food, because I'm like, oh well, that will give me energy. That will and yes, to a degree, yes, it will, but not in the excess that I was eating it for. And I was like, no, I really need, I need to be on a restriction. I need to make sure I've cut these calories before we go away, because I want to be at, I can't even remember what it was, but I wanted to be at whatever weight or whatever look. And we were walking, and I remember you being like, so you just need to be at maintenance. yeah, it was, you need to be at maintenance. And I was like, no, I'm not, like, I'm not doing that. I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm not going away feeling like this. I'm not going away. And you were like, but what about your energy? What about how you feel when you're away, being present in the moment? It's not about how you look. It's not about, and I was like adamant, like a sassy little 5-year-old, like, absolutely not. I'm not doing that. I think I actually eye rolled you at one point when you were walking around. But I remember you saying to me, you were like, "Do you trust me?" And I was like, "Yeah, 100%." And you were like, "Then I need you to trust me on this. This is what you need to do." And it was like, I think the good thing for me was you knew in that moment I didn't need to be coached. I needed to be told what to do and be given permission to be like, this is okay.
100%. It's really tricky, and the more we're learning as coaches now, the more we're realizing that you've got coaches, you've got consultants, you've got mentors, you've got all these different hats that inside the lifestyle coaching that we do, we can step into, you know. But in that give, like, if I had just come in all guns blazing, because I remember that on that walk as we were walking along, and I was thinking, I fucking know what this girl needs, right? I know what this girl needs, but I'm also dealing with a very strong woman here, a very strong woman who really wants to go on holiday at a particular weight category. You know, she's acting like she's a fucking jockey or something, and she needs to hit this set weight so that she can do a horse race. But no, she just wants to go on holiday lighter. But I get it. I do understand it. I have also got quite an obsessive nature when it comes to certain things. Like when you fucking say you want to get for something, you know, with people like us who are driven and ambitious, we want something, we make it happen. With weight, it's not always as simple as that, especially if your energy, like you were, I think I remember going for a turnstile at one point, and a turnstile, what's it called? Like,
yeah.
You know, and I went through it and I fucking looked at the floor and I was like, shit, she's gonna bite my head off in a minute. She's gonna absolutely she's gonna lamp me. And it's about like, and this is the skill and the kind of dance of coaching, it's about like asking the right question at the right time and going, right, have you considered your energy? Okay, so what if we went down the route of going energy first rather than fat loss first? And then that was met with resistance from yourself because you were like, no, I want to lose weight. And then it's like, right, okay, how else can we go about it? And the simplest way in that moment, because I know you trust me, as all the other girls inside the Coaching Comfort do to me and you now, it's one of the best things that you can say, because it's like, I promise you I'm an expert. I promise you I'm an expert. Do you trust me as a human being though, first and foremost? Yes, I do. Do you trust that I have your best interest at heart? Yes, I do. And fucking let's just experiment this. And you did it. And that's the best thing, you know, when you do something, even though your ego mind is going, no, we want to go on that plane at kilograms, but you are in the driving seat and you're going, no, let's listen and look at how things have been since.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that I was thinking as you were talking earlier, is the emotional stability, the emotional strength, the ability to navigate your way through. Like, you've been through some seriously tricky situations and your ability to navigate through. But also, one of my favorite things about you is that you are, even now to this day, prepared to put your hand up and ask for help.
Yeah.
Because we are always fucking learning. And this is where I see some coaches and even people just hierarchy themselves and think that they know it all. The moment you're at that point in life, you're fucked. Because you can learn so much throughout life. Like, there is so much to learn. And if we can just keep that expansive mindset, it's unreal. So looking at the human that you are now, the evolution that you've gone through in this past kind of 16 months, how does it now feel knowing that you are giving that gift to other people?
Like, you can't even put it into words. It's like, it's just phenomenal. It's like the best feeling ever. Like, it really, really is. And I think, like, but talking before about like emotional stability and stuff, like, I've always been a really resilient kind of person. Like, I've been through the mill, but I've always pulled myself out the other side of it. I was having a conversation with my mum about this actually a couple of weeks ago. And obviously she's biased because she's my mum, but she was like, the thing that makes me so proud of you is that you have been into the pits, like the darkest of pits, and you pulled yourself out. Like that's what and that is what makes me proud as well, like as a human. So I know whatever gets thrown at me, come at me, like, because I will somehow get out the other side. Might be a little bit longer depending on what the situation is, but I will get there. Like, and this is where, like, and this is the kind of thing, like, I speak to, and we spoke about it when I did my self-love talk at the event, because when you've been through that, you need to be kind to that person who's been there before. And this is what I say to the girls and the ladies that we've got in the program. Give yourself some slack, because life will throw things at you, and it's the way that you overcome it and the way that you adapt to it that makes you who you are. And being able to now, having like graduated out of the program, obviously starting my business, then working with you, and like we've got the most incredible tribe of women. Like, they fill my heart with so much like pride, and like the fulfillment that you get from it is just another level. Like, it really, really is. And it's an absolute privilege for me. Like, when you asked me, I was like, okay, play it cool, play it cool. But I was like, oh my God, yes. Why would I say no? You're like, no, just play it cool. It's absolutely, oh yeah, I'd love that. I'd really love that.
Play it cool. Yes.
because I've been through it as well, because I've been through the program, and it has literally changed my life. And I don't say that as in like blowing smoke. That is legitimately, my whole life has changed. Like, every single part of my life has changed in that amount of time, and that has come from it. And that's why I love being in it now as a coach, because I'm like, look at where I was. You can have whatever you want. You really can.
Yeah. There was a saying that Chris Williamson said a couple of weeks ago, and it was, you can have anything that you want in life, but you can't have everything. So you're helping them to create the life that they want, that, like we spoke about earlier with the whole like wanting to go out 5 nights a week and have that sort of life. You can have that, but you can't have the others as well. And that's what you've learned. Like, if you look back at the way that Tia's life used to be, her lifestyle, the partying, the drink, the drugs, the it's craving external validation, the whatever else you want to say, like, you could have that life now, but you don't want it. It's a completely different feeling. Like, you are, the center that you have in yourself is unreal. And when you were talking earlier about like why you love what you do now inside a coaching club, and you mentioned the word fulfillment, someone said this to me the other day and it landed. Fulfillment is like coming home. And isn't that so true?
Yeah, it is.
And what more of a fulfilling career than to help women who are like, felt how you felt. You're fucking driven, you'll get shit done, you've climbed the corporate ladder, you've been through, you know, marriage breakdown, relationship breakdowns, you know, you're a bit lost in life, but you're not short of effort. And that's what I like. For me, like, I look at all of our girls, people who are currently in and have been through, and even people who are considering, they keep standing back up again.
Yeah.
Resilient as fuck. Like, you know, people may not classify themselves as resilient because they're, in their words, oh, I'm just a stay-at-home mum and whatever. Yeah, but you've dieted about 47 times every fucking year for the past 10 years and you still want to go again. That's resilient.
Yeah, 100%. Bounce back ability, isn't it?
Yeah. Bounce back ability and anti-fragility. They're the two ones, aren't they? Absolute creme de la creme. So what are your strengths as a coach?
So I think because I'm very honest, I'm like really open talking, but I genuinely think this is from having so long in a corporate career. I am a natural leader. So when it comes to guidance, mentorship, support, I feel like I can give it in multiple areas. So like, I'm learning still around like the PT side of things. I do that because I love training and I love the like the educational side around like your body, but my strengths are around coaching in general, so people coaching, leadership, career, relationships, understanding like the ebbs and flows of life, and being able to get into the nitty gritty with them. And like, I was listening to something earlier, and sometimes it's just about sitting in the mud.
Yeah,
just sit in the mud with them. Like, we don't need to be there to fix it, but you just need someone there to help you and support you and just be there for you so that you feel seen and heard. And I'm very good at listening. I think that's probably one of my biggest strengths, is that I can listen and I can hear what is being said underneath the stuff that's actually being vocalized. Vocalized? Is that a word? Vocalized.
It is now, mate. It is now. We'll fucking roll with it. It's so interesting because I went on a training once and it was around the 4 levels of listening. And level 1 is basically not listening. And we actually had to practice this last week. And they were like, be a really shit listener. Be a really shit communicator. So we were in pairs and oh my God, it was horrible. So I was thinking like, how do I do it? So I was like button in. I was like looking around, there was a dog in the room. So I was like, that's a good excuse. I like look around the dog. Then I picked my phone up and went on my phone. You know, when you're like, all of this makes me feel sick. But yeah, they're showing someone that you can listen without doing those things. So they're really shit surface level things, I think. You know, don't ask me to come out for food with you and then sit on your fucking phone. I mean,
I'm like that.
But then there's the next level, and often you'll see this, and I know I definitely drop into it from time to time, and it's listening, but you're listening to yourself of what you're going to say back. That's like level 2. Yeah, and it's like you're basically you're listening to respond, not listening to hear.
Yeah.
And then there's, I can't remember what level 3 is, but level 4 is like you are fully in that moment with them. You're in their shoes. You're understanding life and what they're saying from their perspective with no judgment, with no hierarchy of self. And you're listening to understand and try and see it from their shoes, like literally. And this is what we always say inside CC, seek to understand.
Yeah.
You could have someone who's come in, everything seems fine, but they are fucking losing their shit. They're losing their shit. They're so raging. They're picking up on the fact they haven't lost weight. And we literally have to go, right, okay, from an outside perspective, because when we're emotional, we're not logical. From an outside perspective, it's like, it's all right. It could just be hormones that you haven't lost weight, or it could be we're a bit more hydrated. But from that person's world, it's an absolute nightmare. And that's what we have to get really good at, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. And I think that's the beauty of it. And I love that, being able to like get stuck in and be that calming voice of reason.
Yeah.
And like, it's exactly what I needed, because I was there like so many times throughout my like CC journey. I'd be like, bloody hell, I've been so good this week. If I had £1 for every time I said,
mate, if I had £1 for we'd be in the Bahamas. We'd be living in the Bahamas for every time a client said to me, I've been so good this week.
It's like, and I think you get so ingrained in diet culture that like, if you have a good week, you expect to see a result in terms of a number on a scales. And actually, this is like probably one of the shifts that I had was, okay, well, that's fine. I know that my body takes 2 to 3 weeks to kind of catch up generally. So it's understanding that, but also, okay, well, just because that hasn't moved, what else has been good this week? My energy has been flying. I've been really productive at work. I've been a great person to be around because I haven't been snappy. I've been sleeping really well. My training has been mint. Okay, so why is the one thing an issue?
Hello, holistic human being, right?
Yeah.
And this is what, like, I think why we both find this job, inverted commas, job, because you can't fucking call it a job, this hobby of ours that we get paid for, why we find it so rewarding is because it is holistic. Because you do, like, when people come to us, like how we're on check-in day today, and when people come to us and they're like, oh my God, thank you so much for being in my corner. I've navigated this really tricky situation. Or like when, I'm not going to say names, but someone came to us and they were like, their kids came up to them and said, Mum, you're so much of a fun mum these days. Oh my God.
Gone.
Waterworks are on.
Yeah.
But that is such an empowering place to be able to like help someone to rationalize that, like the jockey thing that I said to you about earlier. Two people need to be considerably worried about their weight, jockeys and boxers. Yeah, because they've got weight categories to get into. Yes, I understand from a health perspective. I do believe that there are certain health ranges that we need to sit within. If you're morbidly obese or clinically obese, I would say that there will be potentially some health implications because of the way that you're living your life. I do not stand for the health at any size movement. And that could be both right the way down at the bottom end of the scale or the top end of the scale. And the fact that we have the ability to help educate people around, like you've just said then, the science behind fat loss. It isn't, oh, I've been good this week and it's Saturday morning, I'm doing my progress pictures, I should have lost weight, like an expectation. It doesn't work like that. For a woman, every week of their cycle, you're a different physiology. You've got hormones shooting up all over the place. You've got all these different things going on. I know from me, where I'm at right now, so I'm post-period, honestly, I'm the best energy-wise. I'm strong as a fucking ox. I feel absolutely insane. My skin's pretty much clear. Give me 2 weeks, oh my God. Half of it galore. So it's about and this is what I think is really good about CC is we help to educate people, because where there is knowledge, there is power, right?
Yeah, 100%.
So 6 months time, what are we going for? Where are we going, lad?
Oh, 6 months time, I would like to be 60% into coaching, 40% in my corporate career. So obviously I've just dropped a day, which was like huge for me, like not just around getting over the fact that I was going to like be part-time, because that felt weird having worked since I was like 13. It just felt an odd concept, but like being able to regain my life and like having enough time for me as well as like work, so that feels incredible. But aesthetic wise, I am chasing muscle gain and definition now rather than a number. So I'm lifting heavier than I ever have before. My technique is like, well, thanks to you, has been like the best it has ever been. Like I've been injury free for I can't remember how long, like which is just amazing. And like I always used to struggle with my hips or my back, or like there was always something, and like I don't have that now. So remain injury free would be the one. But I'm just excited for the mental growth that is yet to come, because I just look and think, Jesus Christ, like look at the last 16 months. Imagine where I'm going to be in another like 6 months, 12 months. Like, what will I know then that I don't know now? And I love that. That is like so exciting for me, because I love what I do. Learning about it is it's not difficult, is it? You're interested, like a little kid, you know, when they're like a sponge and they absorb everything. I'm like, oh my God. And like that's ace, because I just look at that and think, I know I'm good at what I do now. But in 6 months time, I know I'm going to be even fucking better.
Oh mate, honestly, and think about growth, right? Think about evolution as a human. Yes, like I'm all with you on the aesthetic side of things. Want to get strong as fuck, want to feel great in my clothes, simple. That's it. Want to feel sexy in and out clothes, that's it, right? You then think about the next levels of health, it could be the next levels of coaching ability. But for me, I believe my best asset, speaking for myself here, is my ability to think. And when you are passionate about something, like when you have a passion that is like fucking ingrained into your body, into your being, you don't need to be, inverted commas, motivated to learn about it. You don't need to be, you know, paid to go on a fucking course to go and do it. You are so intrinsically motivated because it's part of who you are. I actually believe that with us, it's because one, it's so nice to know, and not from an ego standpoint, but just from a point of how can I fucking spread this? How can I spread this? Like the mission that I know Coaching Club mission is to help women to live, not just survive. How powerful is that? You know, how many people on this planet can we help to get to their 80th birthday in their rocking chair, you know, with their cup of green tea or whatever? With us, it'll be a porn style martini.
I was going to say, mine will definitely be an alcohol with a gin.
Yours will be a beer.
With my cider, that'll be the one.
I'll be there like sipping my porn star. You'll be there with a pint.
Standard. Well, like lifestyle, that's what we were saying before.
Yeah.
I like that. It's part of my life.
Yeah.
So if I make it work.
You do you, boo. It's definitely not my beverage of choice, but
No.
I'm not going to judge. But yeah, like that is what it's all about for me, is knowing that, you know, I'm very much a deep thinker, as you know, and I'm sure I drive you fucking mad with how deep I think. And it's, how many people on this planet can we help to live, not just survive? How many people on this planet can we help to have a better relationship with their children, their partner, their parents, their friends, like, and have those true, deep, connected feelings? Because for me, I have gone through a lot of my life up until recently of chasing achievement, of chasing finances, of chasing status. And it's only been since January this year that I've gone, what actually do I want from life? And the one word that I keep coming back to, and this is why I'm so fucking blessed to not only work alongside you running the coaching club, but also to get to work with the women inside the coaching club. The one word is connection. Yeah. Connection is fucking life. Like humans, we get to speak for a reason.
Yeah.
We feel a vibe and an energy which is almost undescribable when you're with a certain person for a reason. Yeah. And the fact that we are spreading those seeds to other people is just fucking phenomenal, isn't it?
It's ace. Like there's just not a word for it that I can describe it with. It's a feeling.
Oh my
God.
God.
It's just so, yeah, there's just nothing that will come close to describing it, but it is the best feeling in the world. Like it just, oh, don't, honestly, like it just feels like, it fills me with such like happiness and gratitude.
Yeah.
Like for like, what a life. Like what a life. How blessed am I to like, I really struggle with calling it work. Like working with these people, like how like it just feels incredible. It really is.
I agree. Sorry about that. I had a little moment. I can't talk about this shit without crying.
It wouldn't be a podcast between me and you if there were no tears, would it?
I can't believe it's me who's crying, not you. Actually, I can. I'm such an emotional little kid and it drives me mad. So, you know where you're going in 6 months' time. So now a hard question. What is the main, or are the main 1 to 3 weaknesses that you are going to be working on? That could be aesthetically, it could be lifestyle wise, it could be career wise, it could be ability and skill, it could be communication, collaboration. What are the kind of 3 little hurdles that we're going to be working on?
So I definitely am looking at expanding my knowledge around like physique, so how the body works, how to train, so like what's the best type of training, like educational along the kind of physique side of things, both personally but also so I can like help the girls as well. Lifestyle hurdles, there's going to be a lot probably over the next like 6 to 12 months. I'm looking at getting back on the ladder, so that's going to be an interesting one around finances and stuff like that. So that is always going to be tricky and going to be a weird one to navigate again. And I think I was going to say like connection, but it's not a connection. It's more, how do I look at continuing to learn, develop, grow, be the best I can possibly be? And for that, I think I need to change my environment a bit more, and put myself into more situations where I'm around people that, like they say, don't they, should be the least intelligent person in the room. And I think I've got opportunity to look at putting myself out there a little bit more to try and expand my knowledge already, but also see, like, open my mind up to different conversations and like opinions and different ways of the world. Like, we live in a really small town. I'm quite well traveled, but like when you move out of that, or you start to move around that and be around other people, you notice different things, I think. So yeah, opportunity to get amongst other kind of environments, I think, is going to be one for me as well.
It is so powerful, and that's something that I noticed when I was away in Belfast last week. Although I have made the decision to leave that particular room for many reasons, and it's actually really exciting because when we close a door on one room, we open a door for another.
Yeah.
And already, and I'm yet to discuss this with you, like 3 or 4 new doors have opened. And it's like, and that's where, you know, you get so much from certain rooms. And sure, you can keep evolving those rooms, you can keep opening up kind of micro doors in each room, but sometimes you need to just go, hang on a minute, what about if I just put myself in a new room? And like you say, like the conversation, so everyone at this meal that we went to last week said, to a degree, we were talking about our top 3 struggles, and everyone, so this one guy stood up and he was like, this might sound really fucking weird, but I really struggle with my family. And everyone went, what? That's not fucking weird, that's normal. We all struggle with it. We all struggle with the fact that people go, so if you're not a PT and you're not like a therapist, what are you? Why do people need you? Is what I think that I hear. And like, oh, like proper job. Don't you want a fucking proper, what you mean, sit in a fucking corporate career? No, thank you. But and you know that. Ouch.
Absolutely not. Just seeing.
But it's again realizing that those people, they are, I don't ever feel like we can judge the people around us in our immediate circle. They are who they are. They, let's say, serve a purpose, and that sounds a little bit brutal, but we can't change who they are. But as adults, we have the opportunity to put ourselves in the right rooms. And it's about realizing what you need. How do you need to grow? How do you want to grow? What direction do you want to go in? What rooms are currently like pulling you back and holding you back? And I know we were both in that same situation with the previous relationships we were in. It was like having a fucking parachute behind you, just dragging on the floor. You know, there was no encouragement to grow.
Yeah.
And when you're like, you spend a lot of time with a partner, right? And when you've got that parachute dragging you back, it's such, like, if you look at percentage of time, I was probably like 60% of my time, because I was working from home, so whenever I was home, he was home. Spending that with someone who's really not aligned with your mission is fucking hard.
Really hard. Yeah. And different people bring different things to your life, don't they? Like, you don't need to, like, if I was looking for like a deep conversation, I would come to speak to you. I wouldn't go and speak to other people that are in my life, because I'm not going to get the same. It's just not going to be the same thing. But does that mean that they don't bring anything? Absolutely not. They bring a shit ton of other things into my life. Okay. I'm just aware of what they bring, and when I need that. So like, there's certain people that you could just howl with all day long. You just act like a child. And I'm drawn to that when I'm like, okay, work has been busy. I need time with them. And my partner's one of them. He's one of them that is like, and we dick about all day long, and it's hilarious. And I need that, because it grinds me after like work. When you're busy and you've got loads of stuff going on, it takes you out of that. But would I ask him for like life and business career advice? No, probably not. And he probably wouldn't be interested in giving it me anyway. But I don't need that.
Yeah, and that's where we're opposite, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I've had that in the past, and I'm all for it for the right person. But for me, I'm like, I need a partner who I can lie in bed with and have a deep talk about philosophy and why the world is the way it is, and business and all those. And I remember we had a chat, and I was saying to you about how my dating life was going. I was like, Tia, I just think I'm just being a bit too deep for these people. I was like, I need to just change it. I need to modify the way I am, because it's just not working. You went, mate, the right person will fucking love that about you. And I can say you were right. You proved me right, Tix. So a word, sorry, were you going to say something then?
No.
Okay. A quote that comes up into my mind when we're talking about environment is, your environment is stronger than your will.
100%, that's true.
How many people come to us and they go, oh, I need more willpower? No. We need to look at your environment. If you're going on an environment is people you spend your time with, it's your setting where you work, it's your social media, it's what you watch on the TV. If you, every time you go onto Instagram, if you're a bit of a scroll hole type gal, and you go on there and it's packed full of fucking donuts and cakes and all these amazing little fucking bakes that people are doing at the minute, every time, how long is it going to take you until you fucking snap and you're like, you know what? Take me to the nearest bakery because I'm going in. You know, it's simple little things like that. And the environment is so much stronger than will. If you walk,
You're teasing yourself, aren't you? You're
yeah,
like, you're dangling the carrot and then wondering why you want it.
yeah, it's mad. And again, environment is the same when it comes to people and the standards that we're around. If all of your friends go to the pub every weekend, you will either be a loner, which a lot of people aren't prepared to do in this day and age, or you're going to go to the pub. And if your friends are the type who like to drink an alcoholic beverage and maybe poo-poo you if you don't, you're going to probably give in to peer pressure. So environment stronger than will is 100% the one of the best quotes that I've heard, I think, and has dictated a lot throughout my life. Final thing. I want you to go back. I want you to think about Tia, who you are right now. So get into the frame of, right, I'm Tia. I work inverted commas part-time, although it's still full fucking time hours. I run my own coaching business. I'm the head coach inside the coaching club. I've learned all of these different things over this past 16 months, right? I want you to go back and speak to Tia on January the 1st, 2022, when she knew that she had a call booked in with me. What did she need to hear?
I think what I needed to hear was that the way that you're feeling and the things that you want in life are not abnormal. And you're not an outcast because you think differently. You can have more than people tell you that you can. And you can literally achieve anything that you want to if you put your mind to it. I also think I probably needed to hear that. And this definitely comes down to like our community and how you feel when you're in there, that like I wasn't a weirdo, like that I was gonna like that I would fit in, that like, because I remember saying to you on the call when we had it something along the lines of like I just want some new friends.
Yeah.
And like, how do you make friends at 30? And I like, how do you do that? I want to be friends with people that like have similar interests to me, or like make me feel lighter. Not, I've got no interest in gossiping about other people and what they're doing in their life. Like, crack on. Like, none of my business. I'm not interested. And it drains me. So I would then find myself like withdrawing from like friendships and situations because I'd be like, I'm not here for this. I'm not interested. And that made me feel like, well, why aren't you interested? Everyone else seems to be. Like stuff like that, isn't it? So definitely that that I could be in somewhere and be authentically myself without being judged or criticized. And that is what's given me the confidence 100% to be where I am now.
Comes back to that connection piece, feeling seen, heard, and understood. That's all humans crave. It's all little kids crave when they feel like they're different to other people. When people are bullied, that's also how they feel, because they're like, I'm broken. I'm the one who's different, or it must be me. Kids are so, and this is a trend that carries on throughout our life. We blame ourselves. So then when we join situations like the coaching club and it's a room full of women and sometimes perceived as really powerful, strong women, which they are, but it's, you know, so are you. If anyone's listening to this right now who's in a similar position, you're fucking strong. Like, you have absolutely everything that you need, but maybe we just need to tidy up the environment and give you some support and accountability to get you where you want to go, which was all that we did for you, Tiggs.
Yeah. And that is exactly what, and I think this is the difference. It's not that you gave it me, it was that I started to be the person that I wanted to be, and that built my confidence to be like, all this other stuff has been a load of bullshit. Like, everything else you've been told before, everything else you've overthought or perceived about yourself before, is just a story that you're telling yourself. And the more you do stuff to top up that level of like, and the evidence and the logic in your brain that's going, oh yeah, no, actually, oh yeah, well, I've done that.
Mm.
Oh yeah, well, I can do that. Like, yeah. And the more you start to do it, the more you will change, because your confidence will build.
The only way to build confidence,
Yeah.
you know, and that's one thing that we are. So we are speaking to, I can't remember who it was, someone, I can't remember, but we were saying about how it was about, we do not provide like the holy grail of exercise programs. We do not provide, you know, a crazy nutrition plan that is this hidden secret gem. We are facilitators. We facilitate, we provide the right environment, the right support, accountability to help people to grow.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would never pick up your success in my hands and be like, thank you, Tia, like this is all my doing. You were just my little guinea pig. It's very much the other way around. Like, you come in, you're coachable, you're willing to learn, you're wanting to create change, you're wanting to make a difference to yourself. We provide that space for you to do it.
Yeah.
It's very different. So Tiggs, I want to finish by saying like thank you, because honestly, to think that when we used to go raving, taking a shit ton of drugs together back in the day when we were like fucking 16, 17, 18,
Wild.
absolute wild little kittens, to think that we would now be running an absolutely incredible coaching business together, lifestyle coaching, helping to change people's life, would fucking, like, imagine if we sat down and we had that vision back then.
I'd have been like, mate, how many days have you been out for?
You need to go to bed, mate. But like, to go from that to then us two connecting, and I really do believe that everything happens for a reason. I believe that you joined the coaching club for a reason. You've come in, you've been an absolute storm to work with. It's storm is in good. That sounds like you're really unpredictable, but you've been unreal to work with. And now to have you side by side running the coaching business with me is a fucking honor. I couldn't like thank you enough. And the gratitude I have for you, knowing that we both work together and we have the joint mission of helping these women to live their best lives. We are deeply so passionate about it together. You cannot want any more.
No, you can't. And like that's exactly the same, isn't it? Like, my gratitude for you, the program, getting me to where I am now, at like phenomenal. Like, and I couldn't be more proud of you and what you've achieved, but like also couldn't be more grateful or appreciative to be part of it. Like, I love it. Like, I absolutely love it. And that's why I'm so passionate about it as well, because I know what it can do.
Yeah.
But it's nice.
Yeah,
it's exciting.
Everyone would like think that we get paid to say this shit. Like, are they okay?
It's just like us chatting all day, isn't
it? This cult thing, this cult coaching club. When someone said to me once, like, they think it's a cult, I was like, yeah, don't see why not.
Yeah, maybe it is a bit.
A cult that empowers women. Yeah, it was fucking great. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. I know we're going to go train together now, so let's go smash it. Anything you want to finish by saying to the ladies?
No, just just how much I appreciate them as a community, and like genuinely heartfelt, couldn't be prouder or more blessed to be here. So thank you, and thank you for having me on again.
You're welcome. See you soon.
Bye.